I want to continue related to Representative Rothman's comments on the permitting process. First of all, I applaud your efforts to speed up that process. It's been, I come from a business background, Chamber of Commerce, and that's been one of the impediments to attracting businesses, particularly in the western Pennsylvania area when we have competition from Ohio and West Virginia. So anything we can do to continue that is greatly appreciated. And we certainly, given the business climate in this state right now, don't want to do anything to push business away. So please continue those efforts. Related to the permitting process, though, I know that there are certain complexities that come with permits. Some can be derailed by simply a minor glitch. I just have a question about how your staff are trained. Do you work with developers, with the permittees to work through those issues, or is that something that, it goes back to the beginning of the process?
Sure. That's something. There's, again, I'll take it in kind of two pieces. One is we've always had and encourage, and anytime I get the chance to advertise it, we have a pre-application tool that's actually available online that potential, someone looking to do a permit application can fill out, and it'll actually help walk through what requirements are there. We encourage pre-application meetings, all of that. We have been engaged, and it's something that we've been doing a lot more deliberately over the last year in engaging with industry, engaging with groups on exactly the kinds of trainings you're talking about. Trying to identify where we have particular issues, trying to identify where the process slows down because of what we receive from a consultant, for example, within this. So we're definitely focused on the training element right now.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, I understand the balance between, promoting business, promoting growth, and maintaining environmental protections, which, as has been said, we all have children here. We're looking ahead to future generations. But it gets me to the issue of the pipelines that are, growing vastly through the Commonwealth. And I think they're very important, as we sit on the epicenter of some of the best natural gas reserves anywhere on the planet. But, that requires, I would think, a special effort from your organization. How does that impact the processing of permits in other areas, and how much time is spent related to the permitting of the pipeline issues?
It has, in some cases, been a drain on the resources for sure, and required a significant level of effort to address the permits. Actually, one of the things that we stood up just at the beginning of this year, which we'd been planning over the last year, is a regional permit coordination office centrally. One of the challenges, as you can imagine, when you're looking at these pipelines that extend, in our case, over 2 or 3 of our regions, is just the coordination amongst staff to get that done. So for those large linear projects now, we're managing that centrally in order to help both expedite the process and also give some relief out in the region so that they can manage those other projects.
Good. And then I have a little bit more time. So we've all seen the amount of flooding that's been occurring and the impacts that has on our local municipalities. What can you offer as far as assistance or some guidelines? I hear it a lot, and people are struggling right now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better related to stormwater management. So can you give me some your thoughts on that, please?
Sure. The couple of things I'd say are, one, on our end, we've tried to be more proactive. This past year of flooding, I don't know how many hundred of emergency permits we issued, for example, to get work done, and usually within 24, 48 hours, people are getting those permits. We are doing, as we talk about water quality and talk about Chesapeake Bay and other water quality issues, one of the solutions to that is work that impacts flooding and takes some of that pressure off. Wetland mitigation, stream bank restoration, helps with some of those erosion problems that lead to some of the flooding issues. And then the last thing I'd just say is, again, Restore Pennsylvania, that's a big focus, and I know something that is personally important for the governor, who has stood with those families, and as he said in his press conference a few weeks ago, wanted to be able to do something more than offer his keep them in his thoughts. We've had a number of these small systems, small precipitation events that don't cross the federal threshold. So as people are dealing with rebuilding their lives, there's really no, it's a gap. There's no place for them to go to deal with that.
Right, thank you. Now, I would just encourage you moving forward to continue to be an impetus for business and growth and development while maintaining that environmental balance so we're not an impediment to attracting businesses to Pennsylvania. I do have some concerns related to the rather dramatic increase that you're proposing for well permit fees for natural gas. At a time when we're finally starting to see these industries coming back to Pennsylvania, we're seeing the jobs back in our rural communities. We're already imposing over the past, since we implemented the impact fee, more than $2 billion is being collected, and now there's talk of a severance tax. It seems to me, we're punishing an industry that's creating jobs in Pennsylvania. They're finally coming back. Commodity prices, while they're still very low, are starting to increase, and now an increase from $5,000 to $12,500 for the well fees. And my question is, why? How do you justify that? How much money will be raised, and what will that be used for?
Sure. The simple answer on the money itself is it will be used to make sure we're maintaining current effort. As I said earlier, that's a fund. The fund that supports the program is losing $600,000 to $800,000 every month to support the existing staff, which is down to 190 from 226. We've implemented some things around electronic inspection, improving productivity there by over 20%. Still aren't getting to all the inspections we're supposed to be doing under our guidelines. Have increased and supported additional reductions in amount of time the permit process takes. So the reason for the permit application fee is because the Oil and Gas Act says the way we can raise money is the permit fee. So effectively, for every inspection, policy change, everything, when that well permit comes in, that's the one shot to kind of monetize everything forever and always. Very open to a discussion around other ways of dealing with that and addressing that issue. I wouldn't say it's the fairest way to go about it,
right,
but it's the only lever we have to support the program.